As if I wasn't confused enough just from my normal state of being not only old but also malnourished because I can't afford.
Ladies, gentlemen, them, they, and all, it's showtime! Ha-ha! Although, when we do say showtime, we do use that term very loosely, as what we've got in store for you today, well, our presenters have really no idea what they're gonna say because they're all unprepared. So strap yourselves in and brace yourself as the Some Nobodies present PowerPoint Showdown. So start that round of applause as we welcome this week's keynote speaker.
Oh, I've got just a water running. Hello, and thank you for joining us for our next conference. Tonight, you're going to be hearing from 4 professionals discussing it's kind of it's a fighting topic. People have been fighting me about it all week. I had a hard time finding guests, but I did find one to talk about our topic: why we don't need music. Does anybody else hear that? Is that just me? Anyway, with me as always, we have Hipster Dylan. Hipster Dylan, how are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Oh, excellent. We also have Fart McButts. I can't believe you're gonna make me say that all night. How are you, Fart?
That's the only reason I kept it this name.
I just hate you.
I just want to hear you say it over and over again.
And this week, our super special guest and fellow music denier, comedian Paul P. How are you, sir? Live via satellite, we got Mr. Paul P., which is awesome. He'll be here with us once he hears what we're saying. But listen, guys, for those who are joining... Paul, can you hear us?
Hello.
Wait a minute. Okay, now, Paul, are you there? Is Paul here? Paul. Is your name Paul?
Yes, we're having
Paul
some
P.
technical difficulties.
I guess I'll talk slowly. Now, for those who are joining us for the very first time, each speaker will be given roughly 10 minutes to present our topic of the week. Once again, why we don't need music. And after each presentation, there'll be a short Q&A from the panel. And of course, we invite any member of the audience to ask as many questions as humanly possible. As long as your little digits will type it in, we'll answer them. And after the 4th presentation, the panelists will vote on which speaker will be awarded the $50,000 scholarship to Some Nobodies University and the Nostalgia Prize of the Week. We lost our guest.
They're attempting to figure out some technical difficulties.
Oh, sick. All right, well, the Nostalgia Prize of the Week, we got a weird Ziploc bag full of 3 tiny Avoid the Noid dolls, which is interesting. But
I legitimately want those.
Well, you got to win. We want to thank our Patreon member, Shaquille O'Meal, for all of our wonderful nostalgia prizes. And obviously, we're going to keep on chugging, and hopefully Mr. Paul P. will hop in here. Right? Is that what we're going to do, guys? We're
going to try dropping and reconnecting. We'll see what happens.
Well, until he drops and reconnects, you might as well bring up my presentation because I got some stuff I got to get off of my chest. The thing that we wanted to talk about here is why we don't need music. And obviously the Faculty of Hearing Loss and Lackluster Dance Skills presents why we don't need music. Listen, I don't have very good hearing. Everyone knows that. Why do you think I keep changing out headphones every single week? I think I keep wearing them out, and I'm not sure. I also don't know how to dance. So for me, what's the point of music? I can't hear it. I don't want to dance to it. So we don't need it. I'm sick of people pushing their musical views on me everywhere I go. There's some sort of music, and I don't think I need to hear it. It's oppressive. I don't need to be wearing headphones or earbuds. Even though I can't hear, I don't want it around me. So why we don't need it? Next slide, please. Whoa! And I can already hear you getting mad, probably because you're a music nerd, and people who like music are scientifically proven to be irrational. Now calm down and let me finish. Next slide, please. I think that was the end of it, right? Because they're pretty angry, and I know more. Now first, what is music? It's notes. stupid. Nobody likes notes anymore. You don't pass them. You don't receive them. I had some in the 90s. I don't know where they are anymore. 2, theory. I don't even know what that means. I think theory has something to do with the idea of something and then trying to find out if it's true or not. There's also lyrics. That makes me angry. I don't need to be thinking about stuff while people are putting a beat on. Also, it's full of dumb. I don't know why there's so much dumb in the music these days, especially with new metal or old metal or modern metal or whatever metal's going on. It's dumb. All music is dumb, full of notes. I think there's theories to them, like scientific music. Nobody even needs that crap. Read a book. Next slide, please. Now just think of what a world would be, what a world without music would be like. Wouldn't it be great? I certainly think so. Think about this for a second. Imagine going to a concert and you're actually allowed to think about what you like. You like to think about why you like these musicians. But it's just so oppressive that there's constantly just music going on. Imagine going to Macy's and you just want that perfect Thanksgiving gift for your great grandmother. And all of a sudden you're listening to Alice's Restaurant, which nobody even likes that song. Why is it considered a Thanksgiving song? Only because it's about a diner? It would be so much better if this world were like space. There's no music in space, and there's a lot of it. Think about where music is. Isn't it a tiny little spot over here because nobody wants it? I'm telling you, the place would be better without music. At least I certainly think so. Next slide, please. Now, bands who haven't justified their existence and why. Now, I'm going to give you some bands who have not justified their existence. I'm also going to give you why they have not justified said existence. Number 1, Blind Melon. Don't know why they exist. All I can say is that life is pretty plain. I like watching the puddles gather rain. It sounds better when said. Why are people putting it to music? Let's hop over to Hinder. I don't know why they exist. It's really good to hear your voice saying my name. It sounds so sweet. Once again, I would prefer that in a card. I would love to read this, look somebody in the eye, and then let it just sink in. Now, Blues Traveler, it doesn't matter what I say so long as I sing with inflection. Nobody can tell you what song from Blues Traveler that's from because all they know is harmonicas and a fat guy with a really cool vest. Also, Orville Peck. Now, after Brokeback Mountain, do we really need more gay cowboys? Yeah, we do. But they don't need to be singing about it. Stay on your ranch, my fellas. Next slide, please. Gay cowboys. 3 strikes against music. I've already been there. You ready? Strike 1. Hard to monetize. If it can't easily make us money, why bother? I played music once. No money came to me. I hate it. Strike 1. You ready for strike 2? I'm going to give it to you. I'm bad at it. I've tried making music once upon a time. I almost just said that. And I wasn't immediately good at it. And I made $0. To me, strike 2. Kind of like strike 1. It's a foul, I guess, which in baseball terms, that makes it a second strike. Number 3, I'm a contrarian. I have strong irrational reactions against things which bring other people joy. Sometimes I see kids just looking at stuff and I'm like, God, what the are they doing out here? Why don't they get a job? But then I'm like, well, they're not listening to music, so I don't really care what they're doing. But for some reason, I'm angry about it. I got problems with things. I have just an irrational reaction. Sometimes it's rational. Most time, it's, I don't know. I'm a contrarian. Next slide, please. Now, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Now, I would like to let this picture just sink in with you for a second. I wanted to give you a second just with some quiet. And it feels nice, doesn't it? It feels good when we just take a second and just let the world heal. All of these dub stepping and tub thumpers are really messing up the ozone layer. Now, if I had 1,000 words, I'd really preach down, because I got to punch down to these idiots who like music. But I'm going to preach down to these nerds. And I'm going to say, you're putting too much hot air out there. There's not enough balloons for what you're trying to do. Let me hear my friggin' news. Let me read my newspaper in my own privacy of my own silence of my own shower. Next slide, please. I think that was 1,000 words. Now, in conclusion, I'm angry. I'm a spherehead. I'm a globetard. I'm whatever you call them. But everywhere I go around the world, there's just different kinds of goddamn music out there. Like, you think if it was good, it'd all be the same. But no, everyone's like, well, my music's better. My music's better. Guess what? It's not that good. It's just some rattly, junky car that happens to have some fat notes put to the end of it. And then honestly, just some greasy words that are trying to sell me something. And I don't need it. Nobody needs it. Life is hard as it is, my friends. You have distractions from politics. You have distractions from 5G cell phone towers. You have distractions from people whining about COVID still for some reason. The Rock is now Black Adam. There are distractions all around. Why do we need music? We don't. And I think that's my conclusion. I'm irrational and I'm contrarian, but gosh darn it, we do not need music. And I bring this from the Faculty of Hearing Loss and Lackluster Dance Skills. Oh, thank you. I started sweating in my pits. It just gets me so angry talking about music. Now, if anybody has any questions on my presentation, why we don't need music, I would love to answer all of them. Oh, Fart McButts.
Yeah. There was a slide that you had about why you don't like music. It had something to do with it not making money. I was just wondering, are those the same reasons that you don't like podcasts?
I podcast all the time. Have you ever heard me make music? Have you ever heard me make money?
No.
Have you heard me podcast?
Yes.
There you go.
But
there's more?
Yeah, I just thought, hard to monetize. You're bad at it. You're a contrarian. I know that you do it a lot.
Yeah.
But you don't seem to enjoy it.
Nope.
Okay. Nope. I guess.
I'm a contrarian. What do you want?
Answers my question.
Look, it's a to and fro here, my friend. I just don't like it. Hipster Dylan, what's up?
Yes, thank you for the presentation. Now, it does say lackluster dance skills. I was wondering if you could showcase those for us.
I wish I could. I literally cannot learn a dance move. I've tried to learn one, and I just fell over, which is why my wife gave me a chair that spins around, because whenever she tries to dance with me, I just roll it on some hardwood floor, and she moves me around, and then we eat spaghetti. Okay. So I literally don't have any.
We do have one question from the audience. From high-level music educator with a doctorate level in piano performance. Lucia Unrau asks, can you please expand on the theory of tonic and dominant?
Yeah, this is actually pretty easy, and I'm pretty upset that somebody had to ask about this, because obviously tonic is slightly lime-flavored seltzer water, and dominant is really just anyone playing music in my area. I'm trying to enjoy my White Claw, and there's people out here just playing their Limp Biscuits and throwing their corns at me, and I don't need it.
She'll have to live with that answer, I guess.
I'll do some more research and come back to you, Lucia, but I appreciate your question. Are there any more questions on why we don't need music? Excellent. Okay, so thank you. Look, I'll make another presentation to go over exactly what I mean by that White Claw and corns situation. Now, I prefer my lime with tonic too. It's true. I mean, there's no. You know what you don't want it with? Corn. Now, Paul, are you ready? Technical difficulties are gone.
All gone. Okay. Can you guys? Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent. Okay, so special guest Paul P, comedian and Instagrammer, has a presentation for us. Producers.
God. Oh wait, these are my producers to bring up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
What? Am I not looking at you over here?
Me?
No. No. Thank you all for attending my presentation. Basically, self-titled to my dissertation, "Fuck Music," as in I dislike music, not music to have intercourse to, unless that's what you're into. In which case, we can talk about that closer to the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. So here we will be discussing the history of music. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It truly does not matter. In 1932, music began, and then in 3 years from now, the moon will explode. In between all of that shit, you'll have Taylor Swift being born in 1944 and then the global financial crisis. And that was more important than any music I've ever heard. Growing up where I come from, music, it isn't worth what it's worth, but you listen to it because it's something in the elevator. Elton John, Michael Bolton, and you got Tupac Shakur. All of those guys are really, really good nights. They're in between the 32 and the 25. Next slide, please. So this is most important here today, what I want to talk about. Nobody anywhere has made good music. Listen here. I mean, all of Earth. I'm talking Earth, maybe Antarctica, but that place is a shithole. So I doubt it, and I've literally seen a hole with shit filled in Antarctica. It was frozen shit all in the mix. It's crazy. But there you see the regions where the shitholes are, and that's where the music's come from. Shithole, South Africa, shithole, South America, shithole. Look at that shithole right there. That's a shit. Look at that. They did have some music that came through Afghanistan, but that shit didn't make it out too far. But next slide, please. Thank you, Connie. Next slide. Yeah. So Exhibit 1, this is bullshit. And bare naked ladies. Let's start with this. Look at this shit here. Look at this. You gotta be tripping balls and acid to be out there. Look at stunt. You got somebody in cat yard and the scissors, and this shit isn't music. You know what this is? This is bullshit. You got, what is this man's name? What is, So what you ultimately want to know is that this is not music, man. This shit right here, yeah, there's some shit right here. Listen, so this is bullshit, and we're gonna go on to the next slide here. It speaks for itself. So Exhibit 2, if this is the best we can do, then let's just call it quits. We got William Shatner. This man right here, he borrowed my bathroom one time and he left a Shatner in there, Shatner clause. And, this is what it's not about, man. Christmas album. Everybody's got a Christmas album. Fuck this shit, man. Fuck this Christmas album. I'm tired of it. Mariah's scary. She's got one, and Shatner's got one, and I don't even know what's going on. I hate Christmas. You know what? I hate Christmas. All my kids want something all the damn time. They ain't getting shit. They're lucky they made it. But if this is the best we can do, yeah, fuck it. Let's call it quits, man. All right, let's go to the next one here. Now, Exhibit 3. I guess it's not all garbage. Now look here, we're going back to Miami, and we're gonna fly on this cloud hair that he's got going on right here. This is why we hate music. Cause this shit right here looks like Donald Trump before Jay Leno had a baby. It looks like Donald Trump and Jay Leno had a baby. That's what this looks like. It looks like he got to take a mean shit, before he makes an album. Like he has to take but it's not all, I guess. We got Wayne, it's like Wayne Brady. So he looks Wayne Brady before the sand. Let's go on to the next one there. Let's see the next one. Honorable mentions for fuck music, the kind of music you have sex to. Not a statement, disparaging music as a medium. Rhythm, a little something to set the pace, you know what I mean? And emotion, a little something to set the mood. So there's a difference between rhythm and emotion. And the difference is that the fuck music in between. That's the only music we listen to is fuck music. And let's go on to the next one here. In conclusion, if you decide to listen to some music when you are giving her a ring or you are giving her the first time anal, listen, the music matters. The music matters. If she's Catholic, the music definitely matters. Listen, but I met a girl in Utah one time, and oh my goodness, you got her soaking. I ain't talking about anyway. So in conclusion, really want to thank you all for watching this presentation. And any questions from the audience here today? Yeah.
Oh, well done. See, I'm glad somebody's on my side here. I have a question. Do you think that you would like Christmas more if there wasn't so much music out there?
Absolutely. If they just said Christmas and everybody just shut the fuck up, it'd be all right. We ain't got to sing about it all the time. It'd be all right.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes. Fart McBuck.
Yes, I would just like to know a little bit more about this soaking that you did in Utah. I'm not really all that familiar with this, so I would like in graphic detail what happens.
Indeed. I'm glad you asked. Well, first you get consent. It's 2022. Would you like to soak? And then the woman replies either yay or nay. If she says yay, and it's okay, where would you like to? And then you make sure, when you get to where you get to, you ask, do I still have consent? Because things can change. And then you sit there. It's kind of like putting grapes in a bin. So you put the grapes in the bin and you leave them in the bin, and and you put it, the water just comes out of nowhere. And then you put the grapes in the bin, and then So it is it's wet grapes. Wet grapes.
All right.
That was the sexiest thing I've ever heard.
That explains it perfectly. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Michael stole my question, so
Yeah, that was a pretty solid question. Oh, Mr. Paul P., thank you very much. I appreciate your expertise. And I guess we're going to have to get on with Hipster Dylan. He's got some things that he would like us to know. And here he goes.
Very much so. Thanks for having me on. Now, we're talking, of course, this week about why we don't need music. I specifically want to talk about why making sounds isn't music, why we don't need music when there's so much funnier things to listen to. I have a sense that I know where this is going because I made this presentation, and I can't wait to embarrass myself on camera. Let's go to the next slide, please. First, we're going to be listening to not music. Some examples. Number 1, podcasts. Can music live in a haunted apartment complex? Yeah. At least I believe the band that everybody in that little haunted apartment complex is fans of is a small band called Small Dog Eats Child. Horrific noise. Number 2, you can listen to audiobooks. Can music teach people who does and who don't poop? Yes, it can. And it does. On a daily basis. It's a very popular novel. You listen to ASMR mac and cheese. My apologies. I forgot what I put on the slide.
Ooh.
Can music make me hungry and horny at the same time? Yes. And much like number 2, it does on the daily. And then number 4, news. When has music ever told me when and where to get my vax? I'm sure there's someone who's done that. I haven't listened to it. But you can just go down to your local shady neighborhood alleyway, find that guy who has all the needles, and I'm sure he'll vax you up with whatever you need. Let's go to the next slide, please.
Is that a song?
What? Vax you up with whatever you need?
Yeah. No, I like it.
We're going to look at stores. They use music. Apparently, music can make me buy stuff for people I don't like or even clothing that doesn't fit me well. I don't need mind controlling set to a beat. Now, here's the interesting thing. With the advent of the internet, you can actually buy stuff without music that doesn't fit you well anyway. It's actually easier if you go into the store because they have changing rooms and you put it on. And then when you put it on, you realize that it's not too tight around the shoulders and you have to hold your arms kind of like that. The music can help you avoid doing that because if the music's bad enough, you just don't go into the store in the first place. I think that's all I have for this slide. Let's go to the next slide. Now, there's some other ways that music is bad. That's B-A-D. Ever hear the song, I Would Do It For You? Music is trying to make me like car/human hybrids. We're talking about songs like Life is a Highway, covered by Rascal Flatts, originally by Springsteen? No. Ray Liotta.
Tom Cochran.
That's it. Route 66 by Buck Cherry and Truckaroo by Brad Paisley. He's actually a very good guitar player. If you listen to his instrumental albums, his guitar playing is actually top notch. It's just a shame that his country music is so kitschy and kind of stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But someone is making me think things I don't think I want to think. It's like that movie that came out a while ago called Titane, where a woman has sex with a car and then delivers its child. You should go check out Titane. It's a pretty fun time. No music in that movie. Not related to this at all. We'll do our own presentation on there's a surprisingly large number of movies where people have sex with cars. I think we could probably make an entire episode out of that. We might need to look into that in the future. Yeah. Anyway, let's go on to the next slide.
Jesus, what is this show?
Well, if music is so good, why doesn't Elon? Is it Elon or Elon? Elon Musk make it. One, because he's boring. He doesn't make music. The Boring Company is an American infrastructure and tunnel construction services company, not a record label. It's a common misconception. And Tesla, OT music or OT music. Tesla designs and manufactures electric vehicles, battery energy storage from home to grid scale, solar panels and solar roof tiles, and related products and services. I don't see anything in there that would indicate that Tesla would manufacture music. But who am I to say they don't? They might. I just never bothered to listen. There is at least one song called Elon Musk is Making Me Sad that showed up on my Spotify discovery list. It's not great, but it's kind of funny, you know, as a novelty. There's some kitsch to it. Sorry, yeah, let's go to the next slide. Anyway, top 3 thinkers. Did they make music? No, they made no music. Number 1 thinker of all time, Aristotle. He lived from 384 to 322 BCE. I think I got those dates backwards because they go down. I don't think that's right.
Nope.
But Aristotle is among the most important and influential thinkers and teachers in human history. Do you see his name on billboards? Does he ever go on tour? No. Ralph Waldo Emerson, 1803-82. He lived, again, the numbers are backwards. It should be reversed. He lived from 82 to 1803. Very long time. He's a Boston-born writer, philosopher, and poet. Ralph Waldo Emerson is the father of the Transcendentalist movement, which, of course, says you should transcendental yourself by getting new teeth every once in a while. And then, of course, Lao Tzu. Also, Lao Tzu lived between the 6th and 4th century BCE. I don't know why all these numbers are backwards. I think I was listening to music when I was making these slides, and I got really mad and distracted. But he didn't put music out. None of these people put music out. I think poet is like a musician. Poet's not a musician. Poet is like a musician without the music, which is actually better when you think about it in the context of this presentation. Anyway, top 3 thinkers, no music, point made. Next slide, please. I have a quote from Kurtigan Donald Cobain here. Musicians' quotes, I think it's very important to go to the source when you're trying to figure out the source of things. And Kurtigan said, we're on first name terms, I'm a simple vessel with complex overtones, opinionated on occasions but willing to listen, comfortable with reclusiveness and devoted to privacy and family, patriotic to a fault and allergic to cruelty, ignorance, and bad music. Emphasis probably should be on cruelty, but we're going to emphasize bad music for the sake of this presentation. Number 1 thing here. In your life, you should make it a point to be allergic to bad music. And as we've established, all music is bad. So when you're listening to the music, get the hives. Not like the band The Hives, but like you should work on getting hives while listening to music so it works as like aversion therapy. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now, in conclusion, I had to pull from a childhood staple of mine, the Animorphs series, to show what happens when you turn into someone who listens to music. Bats are known for being like very sonic based. They have echolocation or like a bat radar, and you know, they listen to music, the music of nature. And when you listen to the music of nature, you're going to turn into this ugly rat with wings. Used to be a pretty blonde. Nope. You're going to end up looking kind of like Farts McButts over here. It's like the 3rd step on that scale. See that?
He does have a lot of skin down there.
Listen to too much music, you're going to get skin flaps. Let me tell you.
Nice.
Cosmetic surgery like that, it's very expensive. Turn it off at the source. Turn that music on mute. Don't press play. I think that's the conclusion of my presentation tonight.
Oof. Nice.
Excellent. I'll take questions from the panel. Tenacious Z.
Thank you very much for working your way through that presentation. You really did it. But I wanted to get to, I'm sorry, if we can get the slide with the cars on it. Yeah. What do these songs have to do with car-human hybrids, and how do songs do that?
I was going to try to keep this presentation relatively family-friendly, but we've already broken that membrane.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Life is a highway. I want to ride it all night long. I mean, ride is a metaphor. It's a colloquial term for having sex with the road. Route 66, of course, 66 is the infamous sex position. And then a truckaroo is when a bunch of people have sex in the back of a Ford pickup truck.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess once you say it like that, it does make a lot of sense. Yeah. And that top line, what song is that?
I Would Do It For You?
Yeah.
I don't know that song.
Oh.
I was looking up songs that had like I and you as the first and last words, and that was the first result on Google.
Nice. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Of course.
That makes sense now.
Farts McButts. Fart McButts. I'm sorry, there's only one S.
Yes. Thank you for your presentation. Very informative. But I was just, I think I may have misheard you when you were talking about Ralph Watto Emerson. Does he live on Tatooine? Is he does he deal in human trafficking and
yes.
pod races? Is that okay? So that is the one that you were talking about.
And in his spare time, he writes. He can makes poetry.
Okay.
Meditates on the nature of the sand.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I heard you right. I do have a follow-up question to Tenacious Z's question.
Of course.
You said the infamous sex position 66. How does that work exactly?
It's when 66. Yes, it's when two people are curled up, like Big Spoon and Little Spoon, and you have sex in that position.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
I don't know. Like, if I had a note card, I would draw.
I have one.
Can I? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. All right.
God, you idiots.
All right. Any more questions?
Hold on. I'm drawing a sex thing. We have time.
Paul, usually the show's a lot funnier, just so you know.
No, this is fun. This is hilarious. I didn't.
All right, thank you.
I thought you did give him the paper for like 5 seconds. Did Dylan just get the? How the hell did he do that?
It's like that. And also, if you kind of look at it with your eyes squinted, it looks like either a butt or boobs. So
yeah,
sick.
Or if you make the tails on the 6 longer, it could also look like male genitalia.
Oh. With tails?
Well, like the top.
Okay.
Hold on.
No, it's okay. I don't want to see
a
anymore.
Piece of paper, Zach.
Do we? Yeah, of course. Hang on a second. Let me just.
Wait, no, I have one this time.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
right.
No, that's something a friend gave me.
I can make mine. I'm not gonna
do this.
What? No. We don't need that. We don't need that. That's not this kind of show. Are there any more questions for hipster Dylan on why we don't need music? I do not think so, and I'm very glad there isn't. No, please stop drawing sex stuff. Okay, listen. That's not sexy. Where are the tails?
Maybe not to you.
Oh wow, that's fine.
Listen, guys, that has tails. I don't know.
Well, you said this. I hate this show. Listen, I found one to do, and I do not care about it. Let's wrap this show up with our cleanup hitter, which is Mr. Fart McButts, and apparently he's prepared something special for us. So let's please bring up his presentations.
Thank you. As always, I'm gonna start off with a swear. I always start my presentations with a swear, and I end my presentations with a swear. So I'm going to start my presentation now. Fuck music. Music ain't never got my ears happy. Do you see this guy on this here slide? I picked him specifically because of how angry he looks. When you listen to music, this is what you look like. You could be listening to Beethoven and you look like this guy. Music just makes you angry. It makes me angry. It makes you angry. It makes me angry thinking about you being angry because you're listening to music. And if we didn't have music, nobody would be angry. There would be no wars. There would be no hatred. It would just be people reading poetry to each other. So I'll get a little bit more into that a little bit later into my presentation, but if I could have the next slide. Types of music that I hate. And this is not because I'm old. I do hate a lot of things because I'm old, but the types of music that I hate, I've hated my entire life. I was a child at some point, and I have heard some bullshit sounds that people think sound nice. They don't, because no music sounds nice. Now, if you put folk in anything, it's going to be bad. Mm-hmm. So when you add folk to electronica and you make folktronica max, wow, that's some bullshit. Dark MIDI is as close to good music as it comes. You take those high-pitched beeps and boops and you just, you make them sound sad and angry. It's almost not music, which is what makes it as close to being good as it can be. Then you have Trash Banda, which is the music that raccoons make when they're digging through your garbage. It's basically Stomp, but better. Then you have Hypogognic Pop, which is what Lady Gaga makes. Absolute trash. We would rather just see Lady Gaga play a vampiress in American Horror Story instead of making this terrible music. And then we have Vaporware Puka, which is the vapor is about farts and the puka is about actual poop. It's just shit, all music is shit. Next slide, please. You know what else I hate? I hate spy track. It's an official Spotify genre, and what the fuck does that mean? Spy track. Is that like what you listen to when you're dropping from ceilings, doing a Mission Impossible gem heist? Is it something that you listen to while you're playing Baccarat? Is it something that Leslie Nielsen would have listened to in Spy Hard? Nobody knows. Who knows? Nobody. Then we have chiptunes. If you can believe this, people make music with fucking Game Boys. Notoriously the worst sound out of any video game system you've ever heard. And people are just, they're not even worried about the mediocre games that were on the Game Boy. They're just worried about making the terrible sounds that came out of the Game Boy. What the fuck? Then we have Kawaii Core. Why does new metal need to be cuter? It doesn't. We already have the cutest. We already have the cutest new metal guy. Everybody knows Monkey from the band Korn. He already wears eye makeup. He already, has that beautiful face. He wears, short skirts all the time. Why do we need anything else? And then we have Electropera. What the fuck is the point? You're mixing electronica with opera. Those are both terrible types of music. I mean, more terrible than your average type of music. So why would you mix them together? Next slide, please. Let's get into why we don't need music. Now, I've talked about the types of music that we definitely don't need, which is all of it. But now we're going to get into why we don't need the music. Well, it's just sounds that human-like animals make for mating or just attention. Honestly, we're going to mate whether you're making noises or not. Everybody loves to fuck. So let's just fuck. Why are we doing this? Like, you see someone up on stage with a guitar and they're singing and you're like, I want to fuck that person. But if you saw them walking down the street, chances are you would be like, I want to fuck that person. So stop with all the pretense. Just fuck. My attention is needed elsewhere. Look, there's a lot of things in this world. There is podcasts. There is video games. There is art museums. There is just going around and looking at people I want to fuck. Everything is all over the place. I don't need any of my attention put on these terrible noises that these horrible people make. It's just pointless. Can we just listen to podcasts and watch, go up to somebody on stage. Don't say you look like a musician. Be like, let's fuck. And then if they say, sure, then go fuck. You don't need music. But consent. Always ask somebody if they want to fuck before you fuck. Next slide, please. And what the fuck is drums? Look, at some point, you want to smack some pots and pans. You want to make some old skin and like make a bunch of noise. And you want it to be so loud. You want to put a bunch of wood and plastic and metal in your living room and irritate everyone that lives with you. That's up to you. Really, I can't stop you. But you shouldn't do that, because without drums there wouldn't be any music. So let's get rid of all the drums and there will be no music. Because everybody you could say, oh, well, what about this? What about electronic music? There's no drums in that. It's all computer. Yes, but it's computer simulating drums. You could say, oh, what about singer-songwriters playing their acoustic guitars? Yeah, they palm strike and they hit their guitar to make percussion noises. It's all got drums in it. Let's just get rid of the drums and then all the drum sounds, and then we can just erase all the music. I think we should have a big bonfire in every town where we burn every drum, every CD, especially acoustic guitars, because nobody needs to hear those. All ukuleles. Really the worst sound in the whole world. Next slide, please. And don't get me started on singers. Look, here's what I think about singers. You can't make object noise so good. So you have to use your own eat hole. You can't hit the skins, and hit the skins is not a euphemism for sex. Singers notoriously can do that very well. But you can't hit the skins as in drums. You can't move your fingers to make notes with a guitar or a bass guitar or a ukulele, God forbid. You can't do anything with an instrument. You're talentless. So you just make noises come out of your eat hole. What's the point? You want to write poetry, but you also want to yell. Just write the poetry. You can talk your lyric songs, and people will be like, wow, that person's a genius, instead of looking at a singer and saying, wow, that guy really needs some attention. We all know. It's just a mouth sound for some reason that people use to communicate. That's what talking is. You don't need to, you're not impressing anybody by making your talking sound melodic. Nobody cares. You can do that with computers now too. I can talk into a computer and make it sound melodic with a computer program. People do it all the time. Cher does it. Madonna does it. T-Pain does it. And, I'm going to say sometimes it sounds pretty good, because I do like T-Pain. If he didn't have music behind him, it would be way better. I would rather hear T-Pain say his poetry with, a little bit of melody to it that he adds with computers. Next slide, please. So when I learned to not need music, I'm not going to lie to you. The first time I thought, you know what, maybe I don't need this, was in 1994 when Korn came out. Before that, I was for music. I was pro music. I said, music is good. Music is fun. People need music. And then Korn came out, and I said, maybe I got to rethink this whole thing. If music being around leads to Korn, maybe we need to take music out and just put it out to pasture, take it behind the barn, and shoot it. Because if everything that we've done up to now is leading to Korn, we have to fucking stop. And it hasn't gotten any better since then. Korn comes out and music just keeps going down. Then we have Limp Bizkit. Then we have fucking Linkin Park, who people seem to love, and I don't get it. Then, it all culminates in 2013 with Blurred Lines by Alan Thicke. I put these out of order. So you have in 1893, the Happy Birthday song is invented. Music gets better from there. You'd be surprised. Between 1893 and 1994, there's a lot of good songs written. But like I said, when everything from 1893 to 1994 leads to Korn, we have to rethink everything. Let's just get rid of music. Next slide, please. Now, in conclusion, in a couple years from now, before the sun explodes or the moon explodes, there's going to be lots of natural disasters, all music related natural disasters. What you're seeing here is my prediction for the future. This is actually me in 2 years from now, being helped into an ambulance, into a hospital by some military police. And this is right after the moon explodes. I was at a Korn concert, and I was just so mad about it that I had an aneurysm, and then a piece of the moon falls on me. That's how I expect to die. They will get me to the hospital, but I will die in the hospital a little bit before everybody else dies from the Earth being knocked out of its orbit by the moon explosion. I didn't really think it through. I just thought that this was a fun picture. I figured, I would show everybody. I had a dream, and I know that everybody's always interested in other people's dreams. So I decided to ask AI to paint my dream, and it's this, moon explosion dream. Who doesn't have those? Yeah. So I think that's my presentation. Fuck music. Fuck Korn in particular, and to end, as my final word, I'm going to say taint.
Oh, that's not a cuss word.
It can be if you use it right.
Taint a cuss word.
It's not a cuss word. Well, then use it right.
Shut the fuck up, you taint.
Yeah, I don't think it's a cuss word.
Taint.
I think F was the cuss word in that sentence. Right. Thank you very much for our presentation, Michael. Us on the panel, as well as Lucia, would like to thank you for these informational presentations. I do have a question, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask it first. You're angry sometimes.
Oh, no. Absolutely. Go ahead, Tenacious Z.
Now, you said up until 1994, there was a lot of really good songs.
Yes.
Would you mind singing one of them?
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
That's a great song.
Proof through the that our flag was still there.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time.
Okay.
When I'm put on the spot, I can't.
That's not really that good of a song.
Songs. No, it wasn't a very good song.
You're so American. That's one of the few things that I know
about you.
Paul, do you have any questions for Fart McButts?
Yes. One question. You mentioned the electronic operating octopus about that. What was that? That was a new category, or what the fuck was that?
Electropera.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Electromagnetic.
Yes. That is a type of opera where you have a bunch of people singing in very high pitch noise, really singing in French or German, but it's set to like Skrillex, and it's just very bad. It tells a story, but it's like it's like the story of, one of the electroperas that I've seen is like, it's just Bangarang over and over again with some lady singing in, I think it's either French or German or both. And it's the story of a man going through a post-apocalyptic city. He's not sure if he's a robot or not. There are robot type people, but then there's also humans, and it's a whole thing. And they thought it was really like interesting, but in reality it's kind of boring. And I didn't understand it. It's based off of a book. Yeah, Hipster Dylan.
Thank you for the presentation. I was wondering if we could, the producers could bring up the slide listing the other slide listing genres. This one, yes. I know you talk about several genres, and I was wondering, kind of related to this, you don't mention film and television scores such as Secret Life of Walter Mitty and Trash Band of Brothers. I was wondering if you could comment on those.
I don't have, the thing about television is I don't watch it. The thing about being an actual hipster is you don't promote that you're a hipster, you just are one. And then every once in a while you say something like, oh, I don't watch television.
Mm-hmm.
And then people know. So I don't know what you're talking about because I don't own a television. As a matter of fact, I completely avoid anywhere that does have a television. I've never seen a TV in my entire life. What I'm broadcasting from right now is actually an old time Victrola that I have added some parts to that I found on the side of the road when I was looking for food.
Okay.
So I'm not even looking at a screen right now. I have slides or I have index cards of my slides.
Yeah.
I had a second.
What was the question?
Well, I had a second part to the question about some specific television shows, but obviously I don't think Michael has ever seen them. So
no. I do know someone who does know a lot about television, and it's Tenacious Z.
I've seen it a very long time ago. I don't remember a whole lot of it. We've all heard the excuses. Thank you, Apartment Butts.
Well, that was enlightening. If you guys want to continue your conversation, just text Dylan on his flip phone because he is a hipster and does not have any smart devices.
It has a USB plug-in for the little like old school roller.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you very much, Fart McButts. We appreciate you always.
Thank you for saying my name so many times today, Zach. I literally wanted to come up with another name, and then I said, I think it would be funnier if Zach had to say Fart McButts several times during the night.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Which I'm glad. It was a lot funnier than your presentation, which is always good. Okay, now listen, guys. Now that's going to conclude our conference for the week. What we're going to have to do are votes, right? So we're going to each member of the panel is going to indicate which speaker they believe deserves to win the $50,000 grant, also awarded by Some Nobodies Patreon account, Mr. Shaquille O'Neal, and the Collector Nostalgia Prize, like I said, which is a random Ziploc bag full of avoid the noise dolls. So I'm number 1. Paul P is number 2. Hipster Dylan's number 3. Fart McButts is number 4. When I count to 3, I need you to tell me which of the presentations you think won this evening and taught us the most. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah. You can vote for yourself, Paul. It's fine. You definitely won this one. That's great. Oh, comedian Paul P. Thank you so much, dude. Such a pleasure having you on here. I love when we have guests on that are funny. Usually we have to really scrape the barrel for Fart McButts to bring out something at the end. But yeah, funny man. For people that are listening now, watching now, or even later, where can people find you? Where do they want to see your voice come out of your face?
PaulP.tv. PaulP.tv, not PaulP.tv.com, PaulP.tv. My Instagram, IG Paul P is blocked. So.
Oh, Nice.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
what got you
Yeah.
blocked?
So I was using another app, this report app, and it's like, hey, do you know who's following you? I'm following you. And it's like, I don't care,
Oh.
but I'm paying for this app. And then I went from there to say, motherfucker, I caught you. And then they were like, oh, we caught you. And then they,
We caught you catching us.
All right.
Dude,
Yeah.
Instagram shady.
I'll come
They'll get
for
you.
Yeah. And they
All
won't
right.
send me the recovery pin. But anyway, so that's that.
Dang. All right, well, listen,
Paul
don't
P's
look
Instagram.
don't look for Paul's Instagram, but go check him
Don't.
out, paulp.tv. Very, very funny fellow. He's also doing live stuff. Where are you located?
Well, now I'm in Indiana.
Right now, yeah. Yesterday you were somewhere
Well,
different,
yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. Oh well, no.
Mhm.
Now I'm in Miami now, but I
Oh.
was in Indiana. I
All
flew
right.
Allegiant. It was, and bought the tickets and bought the tickets like in June. So
Hell yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So anyway.
Oh,
Proud of you.
maniac. That's awesome. Hipster Dylan, where can people find you if they want to hear you?
Yeah, I'm on all the Some Nobodies things. Look up Some Nobodies and you'll find some of our stuff, including Silicon Angels, a podcast show, talking and twitching upstream, create your own pod venture appeal. No Time to Binge, this show. I'm also sometimes on Haunted Apartment Complex, Jack Billings Presents. Rarely, because my character is so powerful that if I'm brought in too often, I'll just solve all the problems. So it's an issue.
That's actually true.
That's the problem with being a wizard, is that oftentimes you either don't show up very often or they kill you the first time you show up. We'll see what happens. And you can follow me on Twitter at Vorpal_words, where I do writing stuff sometimes.
Awesome. Fart McButts. Where can I find you?
You can find me on, if you type in Jack Billings Presents into your podcast app of choice, you'll find me and my neighbor Michael, which was our first series, and Haunted Apartment Complex, which is our current series. Zack Wiseman has been on both. Dylan is on the new one. And it's very fun. You can also hear me. I was just recently a guest on a podcast called Saturdays Are for the Ghouls. We were talking about the cult classic Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Nice.
Very fun.
Cute.
Yeah, other than that, No Time to Binge, award-winning podcast.
Love that.
Yeah. And
So
that's
that's
where you can find me.
Oh, yeah, right on. That's going to conclude our conference. Listen, my name is Zach. I get a couple of things that I get paid for doing this. Number one, the winner, Paul P., you get to tell us what our next conference is going to be. What's our next conference going to be on?
It's gonna be on why the moon is hologram.
Yeah. Yeah.
We actually might use that one.
Speak
Yeah.
the truth.
All right, tune in next week. We're going to find out why the moon is a hologram. And, I've been your outgoing, I've been your host. And I get to say things like, Dylan Terry, I don't know if you know this, but I would do it for you.
Because not only are you confused, I'm just as confused as you are. All I know is that if you talk enough, if you have 3 monkeys talking into microphones, at some point they're going to make a podcast. Thank you for watching PowerPoint Showdown. Today's winner will receive a $50,000 grant courtesy of Some Nobodies Patreon. Congratulations on your win! Join us next week for another showdown. Thanks for providing that big prize, guys.